Well, the Masterson sisters from California are fighting a battle that no one saw coming. 6 of the 7 women were diagnosed with breast cancer in their early 50s, one dying from the disease last year. That's even though there's no family history of breast cancer. And here's a startling statistic. 1 in 8 women will be diagnosed with breast cancer at some point in her life. So what do you need to know? Here to break down the facts from the myths is Dr. Mark Siegel from the Fox News Medical A-Team.
Morning, Elizabeth.
I'm so relieved you're here because I think a ton of women have questions about this. How could it be possible to have all these women in your family with breast cancer, no gene, and you get it?
85% of the time, there's no first-degree relative, and there's no genetic abnormality that's found. Now, some of the time, there is a genetic abnormality, and we're just not looking in the right places for it. We're getting better and better and better at that. But this underlines the point that you have to get screened. And I believe with screening, starting at the age of 40, I think it's an art how to screen, but I need a baseline, and I got to screen people.
It's interesting you just said 40, because that age by the Health Commission has just been moved up to, what, 50, I believe.
U.S. Preventive Services Task Force, I completely disagree with it, because the most aggressive breast cancers, the ones that kill the most, are between 40 and 50. Again, you don't want to overscreen, but you want to get a baseline, and you want to figure out how to follow it. This is Breast Cancer Awareness Month.
Yes.
That's my message today.
So even if you don't have a family history, do not wait to get screened. Continue to get screened.
Absolutely.
Right? Okay. Overweight women, are they at the same risk as other women? Fact
No, that's
or
a myth. That's a myth. They're at a much greater risk, and I'll tell you why they're at a greater risk.
Okay.
Because after menopause, your estrogen is coming from your fat, not from your ovaries. So as you gain more and more weight, after menopause, your risks of breast cancer go up. So they're at a higher risk.
And estrogen is like a snack for cancer, right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Estrogen's a snack for cancer. Now, the other big risks you got to know about are smoking, alcohol, your diet, and being sedentary increases your risk as well. So it's not just a function of weight. It's also a function of activity.
Okay, so keep active. A normal biopsy means it wasn't necessary. Fact or myth?
That's another myth, Elizabeth. I'll tell you why. Only 25% of biopsies are actually positive, but you have to biopsy if you have a concern. Sometimes we do a fine needle aspirate just to prove that it isn't breast cancer. Women want to know. You want to know. And in order to know, you have to take a wide screening just to make sure. We can do it very non-invasively, but you don't want to miss breast cancer early. As you pointed out before we came on today, the reason that so few women are dying of breast cancer compared to how many have it is because of screening.
Right. It's the #1 leading cancer in women, but yet it's not the #1 cause of death, which means that these early screenings are doing their job.
Absolutely. And the art is then what treatment you want to do.
Exactly. Okay, so DCIS, ductal carcinoma in situ, is controversial. Fact or myth?
That's absolutely a fact. It's controversial, but I'll tell you why. Because with the screening, it's controversial. The reason it's controversial is because we don't know what to do when we find abnormal cells.
Where are these cells? In the milk ducts?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Now, the breast is a gland, and we can find cells right in that duct that are cancerous, but we don't know whether we should take them out, and we don't know how much of the breast tissue we should take out. And more studies, though, have shown that limited conservative treatment is the best. In other words, you can do a lumpectomy. You don't have to do a mastectomy on everyone where you find this. If you find it all over the breast, you might have to take the breast out. Most experts will still go for treatment of this, not to watch it, because we don't know how many of them are going to turn into more aggressive breast cancers.
Thank you, doctor, for getting us the real facts on breast cancer. So appreciated.
Great to see you. It's really important this month. Everybody get checked.
It is. Do so. Get screened early and often. Coming up.